Hello everyone and welcome. After almost 2 years, Beast units are finally here. So let's take a look at our very first set. This is gonna be a long one, so settle in. The free unit for this update is Naya Saleh, the Raven King. Naya Saleh is a blue beast flyer with 162 BST. He can be obtained through his Grand Hero battle. Naya Saleh's stats are biased towards speed. 38 base is a lot, and he gets more off his weapon too. With 32 attack and enough mixed bulk to take a hit, Naya Saleh is well positioned as a nimble player phase threat. His weapon is the Raven King Beak, a 14 might beast weapon that grants 3 speed. Additionally, if Naya Saleh is transformed, he gets 2 attack. Naya Saleh's damage is increased based on the difference between his speed and the enemy's speed, just like Vassal Blade or Giga Excalibur. This bonus is capped at 7 damage and is dealt as true damage per hit. Finally, whenever Naya Saleh transforms, he gains 1 extra movement for that turn only. Okay, I know that's a lot, but these are a new unit type. Now is probably a good time to talk about the transformation mechanic. Beast units have 2 states, transformed and reverted. While transformed, beast units get a variety of bonuses as listed in their weapon's ability text. While reverted, they can still fight, but they won't be at full power. Beast units transform in 2 circumstances. First, if they begin their turn adjacent to only beast or dragon allies. Second, if they do not begin their turn adjacent to any ally. Basically, use them alone or in combination with other beasts and dragons. If these conditions are not met, the beast unit will revert at the beginning of the turn. If a beast unit is already transformed and they meet the transformation conditions again, they will transform again. This matters a lot once you consider that bonus movement can be granted on transformation. Naya Saleh's special is Blazing Wind. His A skill is Swift Sparrow and his B skill is Guard. This is our first shot at a free unit with Swift Sparrow, which can be exciting to some players. Personally, I don't really think it's the best A skill for him, but it's not a bad placeholder until you find something better. Beast units, like melee cavalry, enjoy the combination of high movement with access to Gale Force. Of course, flyers with Gale Force are much better than cavalry, so flyers with 3 movement and Gale Force are downright terrifying. Sadly, Naya Saleh cannot use Flashing Blade for reasons that are still kind of stupid, but Heavy Blade works if you have the support. I think Naya Saleh's power as a high mobility damage dealer of a new unit type will make him a very popular GHB choice. Now let's move on to the banner. We'll start with the first of 2 dancers, Racin. Racin is a green flying beast unit with 150 BST. His stats honestly don't matter, but he has good speed and decent mixed bulk. Racin's weapon is the Heron Wing, a 14 might weapon that grants 3 speed. Additionally, Racin heals all allies within 2 spaces for 7 HP at the beginning of his turn. Whenever he transforms, Racin gets 1 movement for that turn only, as well as +2 attack. Those of you paying attention will notice that I said Racin is a dancer and that his weapon increases movement. Yes, Racin is, on the turn he transforms, a 3 movement flying dancer. That's pretty darn good. Fortunately, the restrictions on placement help keep the movement in check. Racin needs to transform to get this bonus, so it is conditional. Racin has access to all of the flying utility tools, stuff like guidance, aerobatics, as well as his extra movement. Compared to most other dancers, the Herons, because Lian and Racin use the same weapon, have incredible positional control. Racin only has the normal version of Sing though, so in most circumstances, Legendary Azura is still better. That really is the problem with both of the Herons. Legendary Azura exists. If you want a broken dancer, she should be the target, not these 2. Racin's assist is Sing, his A skill is Steady Posture, and his C skill is Fortify Beast. A lot of people, myself included, feel like Racin is the most likely demotion from this banner. Given how 2018 ended, we can't get our hopes up too much, but if he does demote, it'll be a nice pickup. Now let's take a look at the other Heron on this banner, Lian. Lian is a colorless beast flyer with 150 BST. Like Racin, her stats really don't matter, but Lian does have much more res and speed. She's a good magic wall and can bring utility through ploys. Her weapon, and so most of her functionality, is identical to Racin. She's a flying dancer with a conditional 3 movement. Everything I said about Racin applies to Lian too. The good news for fans of Lian is that her utility as a ploy unit and her ability to wall magic gives her more longevity than Racin. Her A skill is Mirror Stance, her B skill is Flyer Formation, and her C skill is Hone Beast. Our last two units are both amazing fodder, but we'll start with Nyla. Nyla is a blue infantry beast with 163 BST. Her stats are similar to sword units like Ira, high speed and relevant attack paired with surprisingly good defense and enough res. This stat line is one that we've seen a lot of, but we don't see it often in blue. That's interesting right out of the gate. Her weapon is the Wolf Queen Fang. This beast weapon has 14 might and grants special CDR -1. Additionally, it grants Nyla an in-combat bonus to attack and speed based on the number of allies within 2 spaces, up to a maximum of +6. While transformed, Nyla gets 2 attack and her specials deal an extra 10 damage. Worth noting, Nyla does not get any extra movement on the turn that she transforms. Nyla's special is Moonbow, and her A skill is Distant Counter. Nyla is the first new unit added to the permanent summoning pool that has Distant Counter, so this is much appreciated. It also ensures that she will always be a good pull. Nyla's B skill is Null Counter Disrupt, or as I like to call it, Null Sweep. This skill is restricted to infantry only. In combat, it nullifies skills, statuses, and weapons which prevent the equipped unit from making a counterattack. This applies to both the unit and the enemy, so if you carry a Fire Sweep weapon and Null Sweep together, you can counterattack on the enemy phase. Null Sweep turns off a lot of scary effects, including Dazzling Staff, Fire Sweep, Wind Sweep, and Water Sweep. It has a limited usefulness in PvE, but it's downright invaluable in Aether raids. One of the most common AR strategies is overwhelming the opponent with Fire Sweep damage, so that means healers, Legendary Lucina, and Brave Lian, or melee units carrying Fire Sweep and Lunge. With the introduction of Legendary Azura, defense teams have been able to effectively threaten the entire map with can't-be-countered damage. That meta, to be honest, is not very fun to play in. Null Sweep gives you an option against these units. By building a dedicated enemy phase Null Sweeper, you can dismantle defense teams which rely on Sweep. That's a real game changer. On the other hand, Sweep is far from dead. The introduction of Null Sweep does not make Sweep worse, it just means that defense teams will need to include solutions for Null Sweep units. They can't just spam Fire Sweep bows and healers. This is a great change and has been a long time coming. Finally, Nyla's C skill is Glare. Glare is a personal skill that inflicts a gravity debuff on enemies within 1 space of the target after attack. That sounds really weird on a melee unit, but remember, Nyla can use Gale Force as well as positional skills like Hit and Run. In fact, Nyla can run up, hit the enemy, glare, and run away in a single turn. This playstyle is literally hit and run, and it works great in PvP game modes. Finally, our last new unit is my personal favorite Laguz, Tibarn. Tibarn is a red flying beast unit with 162 BST. Stat-wise, he has incredible attack, usable speed, good defense, and awful res. He's a classic physical bruiser that deals a lot of damage and can take a hit on the chin. Tibarn's weapon is the Hawk King Claw, a 14 might beast weapon with attack +3. Additionally, in combats with foes at full HP, Tibarn makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. His transformation is the standard Flying Beast transformation, granting 2 attack and 1 move for that turn only. This weapon deals an insane amount of damage. With 19 effective might and guaranteed doubles, Tibarn is like a flying legendary Ephraim, just red and with higher BST. His A skill is Sturdy Impact. This skill has caused quite the uproar because it does 3 things. First, it grants 6 attack on the player phase. Second, it grants 10 defense on the player phase. And third, it prevents the enemy from making a follow-up attack. When compared to DB4, Sturdy Impact trades 2 player phase attack for 10 defense and the better half of null follow-up. That's, well, let's be real, it's power creep. Big time. While the stats are obviously great, the best part of Sturdy Impact is the null follow-up effect. But calling it null follow-up isn't accurate because, in fact, Sturdy Impact is better than null follow-up. Null follow-up turns off skills which grant follow-up attacks, but Sturdy Impact, on the other hand, turns off natural follow-ups as well. This means that to successfully double a unit with Sturdy Impact on the enemy phase, you need to have both an enemy phase auto-double and win the speed check. On some units, like say Legendary Lucina or Wings of Fate Hinoka, that is functionally impossible. Manipulating speed is not hard, and so initiating with over 45 speed is easy to do, especially at +10. I don't know about you, but I don't see many 50 speed units with QR these days. Something to keep in mind is that Sturdy Impact is much better in the AI's control than the players. Players are able to make intelligent decisions when engaging, but the AI can't. Sturdy Impact does a great job of helping the AI survive. It basically stops it from being stupid. It might not be that much better than DB4 for you, but for your AR defense team, it will be nothing short of a godsend. Tibarn's B skill is Chill Attack, and his C skill is Even Attack Wave. In case you couldn't tell, Tibarn is all about that attack stat. He talks the talk, and thanks to his weapon, he can certainly walk the walk. Overall, this update includes 2 meta-shaping skills, Null C Disrupt and Sturdy Impact. The units themselves are all fun to use, and did the concept of beast units justice. They add a lot of nuance to the game in terms of positioning, and I'm excited to see how the concept is explored. That said, I don't think you should pull on this banner. The simple truth is that 4-unit 3% banners are way too high variance for the average player. It will often cost you nearly 200 orbs per copy of a unit you want. Some people will do even worse than that. If you really want Tibarn, Nyla, or one of the Herons, I highly encourage you to wait for a rerun. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. You can find me on Twitter at DireThunderYT, so feel free to send me cool stuff or just drop by to say hello. As always, I hope to see you next time. Take care.